Hey, 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 how are you? And welcome to Stardew Valley, the first year. Yes, yes, yes. Very, very exciting. Now, as per the season-based videos, each season had brief goals that were mainly to motivate my dopamine-deprived brain to actually complete things and have a sufficient amount of progress. Full disclosure though, this is not actually my first time playing Stardew Valley. I do have a save on my Switch that is my actual first time playing it, but considering I'm pretty sure it took me like 5 years to finally get to Ginger Island and 3 years to actually marry someone, yeah, this was meant to be like a baby's first speed run, aka the goals of the season have relevance. These goals range from befriending someone specific to getting buildings to even have a date to the spring dance. Yeah, they were pretty varied. Now, I know you want to get onto the video and I will have chapters in the description based on the seasons, but like, feel free to subscribe. I have Spring Year 2 coming out and I'm experimenting with a more varied cast of games I've always wanted to play, but did not have the equipment to play. Now, on to the actual Stardew Valley the first year. Excuse the shoddy editing skills of the first couple seasons. Okay. Oh. I have not watched this in a while. Yes. Is this like a will reading? I'm still confused. Oh. Okay. Have patience. Oh. I totally zoned out. Oh. Sorry, Lewis, that was boring. Day one, I planted the customary parsnips and then proceeded to meet most people, including Jody and Vincent, who I thought looked like a plant for a second. Like, look at him right there. He's totally plant-shaped. Short and bushy toddlers are easily mistaken for plants. I don't know what you're talking about. I then encountered Penny, who was her usual meek self, before dashing to entertain Harvey with my million questions before getting shoehorned into the values of work and how it's important to find value in the mundanity of a good job. Okay. That's not how work works. Work is a painful drudge, okay? I ran into Sam on the way out, and luckily he built my spirit up from getting through the every midlife crisis in your early 20s speech. I then ran back up because the talk with someone who's happy where he is reinvigorated me enough to go and speak to the French aristocrat himself, Pierre, and maybe pull his wife and daughter away from him and convince them to leave him before the French Revolution encompasses the valley. Hoard the wealth, see the blade. But before I could successfully talk to Caroline, we ran into the queen herself, Marnie, and I got distracted because, I mean, it's Marnie. Luckily, I snapped out of it and remembered the mission and ran to talk to the green-haired woman herself before running to the bar where I must have gotten a little blacked out because I ran out of footage for day one. Yeah, talking to too many queens in one day will do that to you. It's alright. Day 2 started out much the same, though I guess I talked to everyone the previous day except for Jazz, because she's all I had left. I then viscerally remembered that Willie exists and went immediately to go pick up the fishing rod, where I proceeded to fish after acquiring a common saltwater clam. I then proceeded to catch the halibut, sardine, and sunfish, and by noon I figured Jazz must be learning by now with Penny and Vincent, and went to go check out the museum, library, small town combo. This completed the quest to meet everyone, so I ran home to pick up the daffodil and gave the subsequent first gift to Haley. This completed the quest of giving and we earned the first 100G. I then spent the rest of the day clearing trees and then sleeping. Day 3 was the customary rain, so I decided to fish and proceeded to only catch trash, which made me sad. But then I figured it's spring and I could do some cleaning. So I cleared some of the trees and acquired the second chest of this playthrough, and then tried to rearrange the chests and proceeded to get exhausted. So I figured it was going to be a short day and fell asleep shortly after. Day 4 was much the same, so I watered the crops and then proceeded to forage around the valley, but because I had exhausted myself the previous day, I decided to go around talking to the pixeled residents of the valley. That's where I encountered Penny, who ended up being more relatable than I thought she could be. I've never related more to a person. That's just sad. I don't want to relate to Penny. I then called Elliot Peachy in my notes, but I don't remember why. Hi, Elliot. Ew! I am Peachy, dude. Oh, okay. That's why. I'm Peachy around Elliot. Yeah, alright. That's optimistic. I then encountered Pam, but she was hungover, so we skipped on down to see the quest, and apologies for the turn of phrase, but I'm never going to miss the opportunity to give Robin more wood than Demetrius, so we did the quest. I did end up giving her an extra piece of wood, but she did not like that. So Linus got a horseradish, and I found out officially that Caroline does not like dandelions. Yeah, that one stung. It got worse when Haley tried to push capitalism onto me in this escape where I can have a monopoly. It made me sad, so I wallowed until the next day. Day 5 opened with me being able to harvest the customary parsnips. Don't tell anyone, but it was 14 and not 15 because I don't want to talk about it. Yeah. Anyway, I got the cutscene and got called crazy in few words by Lewis, which I take offense to from this old man who sneaks around like a teenager with the boss that is Marnie. Which, by the way, Marnie deserves better. She should go after Marlon, who will treat her like a queen, as we'll see later. Caroline got a daffodil because I had a spare one. We then went dumpster diving, which made me think about my own times. I went dumpster diving at a closed down high school. And because it was day 10, we went mining where we full-heartedly put my back into it and got a wooden club and managed to make it to level 10 of the mines, where we got some boots, so I'm not barefoot anymore. My feetsies are not out anymore. They are covered. Let's hope we're wearing socks. Wait, is that what we go into the valley on? Nobody says anything. Robin gets to joke about her house and Lewis goes snooping and no one says anything? We're going back to wallowing. Good night. Day 6 opened with me being jump scared by Clint, which was an experience. He did give us the furnace recipe, so trade-offs, I guess. I skipped out on that and went on a walk to meet with, as I called him, the sock man. On the way there, though, I attempted to justify befriending Demetrius through purely transactional means. Well, I don't care anymore. It's Demetrius. I don't want to... That'd be a good way to, like... Can I justify that friendship being purely transactional? We then get coerced into drinking a potion that is not properly explained to us, but this potion does benefit the completion through being able to commune with Junimos and unlock the community center, so I can let that slide. I then dropped off the leek, horseradish, dandelion, and daffodil to complete the spring foraging bundle, as well as process the geodes where we got the thunder egg. I then stopped at Pierre's to get the crops for the spring crops bundle before running to communicate with George through the only way I know how, by gifting him a leek, before running to the museum and dropping off the thunder egg and a topaz, which we got from the mine earlier. I ended the day by planting the crops as well as chopping some trees and ended up getting level 2 foraging. Day 7 was a rainy day, so I began it with some light fishing before deciding to conquer the mines and getting a small glow ring. However, at level 16, tragedy struck. No! 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 I am not at the proper health for this! I am not at the proper health for this! Oh my god. Oh my god. I'm so low. Okay, legitimately, I cannot take any more health. Okay. This is the last one, and then we're good. I'm scared. No! 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 I then ran down to the saloon, bought 2 salads, gave one to Leo where she informed me of a fresh parsnip that was given to her and grown by Pierre, which I call a sneaky snake liar on. I then ran back up to the mines, had some faith that level 16 was fixed, was quickly proven wrong, and went up a level to dispatch the last slime of the initiation quest, and got the combat quarterly book, which was quickly inhaled by yours truly, and finally went to the Adventurers Guild and informed Marlin of the travesty that is level 16. I spent the rest of the day fishing on the farm and catching 5 breams, selling 4 of them, and ending the night with combat level 1, level 1 mining, level 2 combat, and level 1 fishing. Day 8 was watering the crops, checking out the cost for the chicken coop, barn, and house upgrade, and dropping off the bream. Heading to the mines, I got to another invested level and said, no. I gifted Caroline a dandelion and accidentally triggered Linus's cutscene, and of course said it's a shame for food to go to waste, before deciding hiding in a bush was a good idea. Gus gives some food to Linus, and I proceed to do exactly as Linus does and proceed to go through trashes like a raccoon, where we got a trash get and then fished on the farm until bed, ending the day by selling a smallmouth bass and a bream. Day 9 was cleaning up the farm, fishing, and foraging. I then gifted daffodils to both Haley and Caroline, ending the day with 398 earnings. Day 10 opened with acquiring Wendy the dog, who was named after what looks like a vocal stem of the Bob the Builder theme song that I spent my idle time singing while playing a builder with no socks and cotton walks. Wendy, of course, refers to Bob the Builder's love interest in the original claymation show. I then waited for Vincent to come out of his house by fishing and then gifting him a daffodil for his birthday. I scurried over to the blacksmith and processed geodes, acquiring another thunder egg, a slate, a neckowite, and a stone. Running over to the museum, I gave them the neckowite and the slate. I fished outside again like a peasant while waiting for Haley's extensive beauty routine to reach its conclusion before ditching the plan to forage on the beach and then coming back to gift a daffodil right in front of Alex and having an early night and sleeping by 4. Day 11, I foraged while picking up Robin's axe before dropping it off and mining, where I accidentally brought the rusty sword and decided, according to my notes, that divide, crowd, and conquer was a good method on an infested floor, which appears to be correct as I ended up getting to floor 20 and was in bed by 1:10 a.m. Day 12 was watering, processing geodes, and deciding to upgrade the pickaxe to copper. This will come back to haunt me, but it's chill for now. I dropped off the 5th item, petrified slime, for the museum and got the cauliflower seeds as a reward, and then dropped off a potato to the community center. I then remembered that the traveling merchant would be there and instantly felt regret as I saw that I could have gotten stuff for bundles at the community center and decided to have an early night. Following this, day 13 was the egg festival, so I harvested the forageables, planted the cauliflower seed from the museum, and then hopped on down to the festival. I greeted everyone and convinced myself that 2 strawberry plants is fine and that it's not a apparel of the finest degree. I talked to everyone, got briefly mad at Pam for spiking the juice when children are here, and then locked in and proceeded to win the match, beating out Abigail and claiming the straw hat as a prize. I planted the strawberries and slept. Day 14, I ran to Pierre's where I got 20 parsnips, 5 kale, and 1 tulip plant. These were all planted, and then I gave Haley a gold star gift for her birthday. I spent the rest of the day fishing at the mountain lake and then ran into Sebastian, who checked on my name, which, like, dude, I did not get sneezed on by your best friend Sam the previous day for you to not know who I am. I dropped off the carp and bullhead, did some quick note taking on what was left, and then left to sleep until day 15. It rained, so fishing, processing geodes, dropping off the nautilus shell from the previous day, more fishing, selling the fish, cooking copper in between, and finally sleeping by 12:30 with a healthy dose of level 3 fishing and 932 G made. Day 16, 19 was another rainy day, so more fishing, dropping off the shad at the community center, and then picking salmon berries, ending the night with level 3 foraging and 655 G made. Day 17, there was no rain, so I watered and then went mining, where I managed to get an infested floor again. This time though, I had the club and easily got to level 30. I then checked the Adventurers Guild and managed to get enough bugs to unlock the insect head weapon, ending the day with combat level 3, level 2 mining, and 160 G from 2 topaz. Day 18 saw that the spring crops bundle was completed and the boiler room was unlocked. The mudstone was processed and put in the museum. I ended up getting the cutscene for Pierre where Joja comes in and brags about manipulating the market. It did make me giggle though, as deserved. I bought some more parsnips and some tulips and went home and replaced the harvest from earlier in the day. I spent the rest of the day fishing at a largemouth bass friendly, dropping off said bass, and then ended the day with level 2 farming and 339 G made. Day 19 was a good humor day, so I decided to go to the mines. I, however, of course, immediately forgot about the plan and instead went and left to go to the traveling cart and bought a large egg. And then I came back to pick up the iron bar and dropped it and the copper bar and egg off at the community center. On the way to the mines, I came across a wild horseradish and immediately gave it to Linus. I, of course, made it to my goal of level 40, meaning goal number 2, and decided to go further and actually made it to level 50 before leaving, and I was in bed by 1 a.m. with a goal complete, and it only took 19 days. Oh boy. Day 20 opened with Robin giving me some wood, which made me decide it would be a maintenance kind of day, and I dropped off the crystal fruit from a frozen level and bat wings. I then dropped off the aquamarine quartz, amethyst, and frozen tear to the museum, which unlocked the melon seeds as a reward. I realized it was Shane's birthday and gifted him a drink. I spent the rest of the day clearing trees and ended the day with 752 made. Day 21, Shane gave me the pepper poppers recipe, which made me a little anxious because Haley was not at 4 hearts yet, but that may be because of it being a reset day, so maybe it hadn't processed, right? I ignored that because there was a halibut frenzy, so I fished at the ocean for a while and then came across Haley to gift her a daffodil. I then went to check out the bookseller, but the prices were steep. Yeah, let's go with that. I got a coconut from the traveling cart and dropped it off at the community center. I fished on the farm for the rest of the day and ended it with level 4 fishing. Day 22, I replaced the crops with more parsnips, upgraded the axe, and then went mining where I got to level 55, ending the trip by dropping off a solar essence for the adventures bundle and unlocking the bulletin board. I then ended the day with level 3 farming, level 3 mining, and level 4 combat. Day 23 was a rainy day, so I fished on the farm, and even with the displeased spirits, I got the catfish for the run, which made me a little happy as it was the final fish that was essential for spring. I know technically it can be caught in fall, but that seemed too risky to me at the time. I went to go check on Haley and triggered her 2-heart cutscene and said this should be her 1 weekly job. This led to begrudging acceptance on Haley's front and full enthusiastic agreement from Emily. However, I then also triggered Haley's 4-heart cutscene, had very little faith in my ability to open jars with my aching joints, but it was agreed through a pixel game that I could do it, which, to be fair, there is no cold front in this game, and the character did not have to take SATs and finals for high school in the same week. So I did it, and Haley said I was strong, which makes me a little too happy. I love that smile. Oh my gosh, I'm a sucker for smiles. I finally got to gift her the gold star gift I had gotten her and then dropped off the dwarf scroll and catfish at their respective places. I ended up deciding to go to the mines and go and get the ghost fish for the bundle, dropping it off once caught and ending the day by fishing on the farm, getting level 5 fishing and the fisher branch of the upgrade. This completed my 4th goal, leaving 1 and 3 up in the air for completion. Day 24 was the flower dance, so I watered the crops and blew on the breeze to the festival where I unfortunately skipped out on the rare crow. Clint ended up being a little creepy. I ran into Jazz and said, "Yes, you will, Jazz. You can be the fairy flower queen too." Don't let people tell you can't do shit. She deserves it, and Haley will surrender after some character development. No time to dwell on the future, though, as it's a fertility dance. I plucked up some blonde-haired courage and asked Haley to dance. Of course, after talking to literally everyone else. She agreed, and with that, Lewis set a goal, and the dance was commencing. I was thankfully only slightly offbeat. This would not happen IRL. It would be a disaster. And the dance ended with great fun, ticking off one of my quests and allowing me to move on to the final one. Day 25, the Copper X was ready, and I finally remembered that the cauliflower quest for Jody existed. But first I ran to talk to George and try to guess his favorite show that he said he was watching. My best guess was a dog show or card show, as he seemed the type, but now that I think about it, maybe he's an antiques show type of old man. I say, knowing full well I will watch any one of these shows if they're on. I picked up my axe next, chopped trees, and finally had enough to get the chicken coop. However, this won't quite tick off that goal until it's completed, so let's go with a half point for now. I gifted Haley a gold star gift and finally completed Jody's quest. I ended the day by attempting to make the farm look pretty with some pathing and achieved level 4 foraging. Day 26 was the final harvest of the season, so I sold most things, completely forgetting about the quality crops bundle and selling all of it. Yeah. Oops. I spent the rest of the day making it look pretty and got my spring chests of foraged crops and gifts laid out in the 3 chests, and finished placing the flooring for the chest area and having an early night of 8:10 p.m. Day 27, I chopped trees, went foraging, got a cute little bow from the Mouse Hat store, gifted George a leek I had found, checked out the beach, and sorted some of the new storage area, ending the night by making some light and sleeping. Day 28 was the final day for this video, and luckily the chicken coop was done, marking the finality of my 4 goals, with every one of them met, and getting some cute chickens named Dizzy and Woozy. I checked out the traveling cart with this final day and acquired the large milk. I finished up my paths and fences and ended this video with the goals all met and enthusiasm for the next season. I opened the season immediately with a money-making day. To meet one of the goals that I had for spring, I had to spend all my money on getting Dizzy and Woozy, the chickens, on the last day, so I went straight to the beach and caught the tilapia and tuna for the bundles and immediately dropping them off, and then I sold the rest of this. I then remembered that I had gotten melon seeds from the museum, and I decided to plant them. While on the farm, I also placed a tapper on a tree for the foraging bundle. I went back to the beach to get a dig spot I had seen earlier, as well as drop off a large milk that I had gotten last season from the traveling cart to transport it to the community center. Ending the day with some mountain fishing to get the chub for the researcher bundle and dropped it off. I wound up with level 4 farming, which meant I unlocked the preserves jar, which will come in handy later. But for now, we got level 5 foraging and chose the forester. Summer 2, I woke up with 2,274 G and a mission. Get 5 gold star melons. I completely forgot about the quality crops bundle last season and most definitely sold all my gold star parsnips. It was painful when I realized it, so the goal now is to substitute them with gold star melons, pumpkins, and corn. So I stopped at Robin's thinking I could get the silo. I could not. I even did the store trick that works on Tuesdays when she's supposedly closed. But then I got really lucky because I actually remembered the hoe today for dig spot, and I got an ancient seed. Hey Linus, how are you? What's that? Are you serious? Yeah, that was shocking. I'm still shook that happened. I've never gotten that lucky. But to undercut this, I stopped at Pierre's for some crops and then went to the museum to hopefully build some reassurance. Gunther, I need reassurance. This gave me the recipe for the ancient seed as well as a seed packet. I decided to stop and rummage the trash, and Clint gave me coal from the subsequent geode, which I am in a good mood. So will you just... Yeah, cool. Okay, that's not good mood behavior, but whatever. I then dropped off the extra inventory from attempting to get the silo and came back to Pierre's for more crops, planting all the crops and giving the extra good seed to a special spot at the top before watering and fishing for the rest of the day. Summer 3, Lewis gave me the quest because of his hasty retreat where he left his quote, lucky purple short, which was way too much information for me to have. But for now, I foraged around the valley because of my low energy. I had some excess and dropped off the spiceberry and sweet pea at the summer foraging bundle and went to the mines. I ended up getting the regular glow ring on level 57. I got the dwarf scroll 2 on a spiral level and made it to level 60. I ended the night at 12:10 and woke up to summer 4 where I dropped off the frozen geode, quartz, and frozen tier at the community center. I got blueberries from Pierre's and then stopped at Willie's fish shop and triggered his cutscene. I, of course, said I had been fishing and agreed when he said I was after his heart. I know, Willie. I'm not, but I know. Aw, thank you. I'm starting to really like your dad, dude. He got all sad about his business picking up when he lives in a small town with about 30 residents, and then my character got confused about what he's talking about. When the guy is obsessed with fishing, it's a fishing boat, dude. And the pronoun usage, like, wow. After this cutscene, I went back and forth selling beach forageables to then open geodes where I got a hematite, dropped it, and the dwarf scroll off, getting the rewards of a starfruit seed and standing geodes. I opened the rest of the geodes for coal and stone. I then planted the crops and went to go find Jazz because it's her birthday, which then I gifted her an amethyst and only got 1 heart. She also said she's not supposed to talk to strangers. You know who said that and also agreed to talk to me? Vincent, dude. I got even more melons, planted them, and spent the rest of the day clearing the farm, ending it with a visit from the fairy. Summer 5 was the first harvest due to the fairy. No gold star melons, but I did get enough to drop off the hot pepper, blueberry, and melon. I sold the rest of the harvest to Pierre and went back to drop off a stack of wood and stone for the construction bundle. I checked out the traveling cart and found nothing useful. I spent the rest of the day fishing at the ocean and ended the day by selling the haul for $14.03. Summer 6, I realized the spa was open due to the new availability of a train and went to go check it out. I didn't get any of the rewards, but I did get some copper from a dig spot. I dropped off the wheat from the day's harvest to Marty's bulletin board quest, finally completed the summer foraging bundle. This unfortunately unlocked the vault. Thank you. I have to befriend... No. I don't want to think about that one. I was hoping to procrastinate it. I got the backpack upgrade and spent the day once again fishing for the rest of the day at the ocean and at the farm, getting level 6 fishing. Summer 7, I woke up to an ominous green lighting and pure confusion based on my own stupidity. What is green rain? After a quick wiki search, I found out that it is harmless and is said to happen at least once in the summer season, usually on a set number of days. I spent most of the morning looking at what it does and causes, mostly to satiate my own curiosity, which I guess coincided with Demetrius's own interest since he was outside in a hazmat suit. Okay, we gotta stop at the saloon. I want to see what goes down because Gus sent like a letter or some shit. Lewis said it's supposed to be completely harmless, which actually made me like him enough to move him up in my internal ranking of the villagers. Penny was worried about whether people were alright, and Pam was, okay, well, that's religious panic, and I refuse to buy into it. Elliot and Clint were weird in different ways, but still weird. Why does Haley have to say comments where I'm like, yeah, that's my reaction too? Emily said that there was a presence nearby, which was the first time in the entire day where I was like, oh, there's something not right here, and it actually freaked me out. Emily, now you just freaked me out. What does that mean? I was fine, and now Emily's just like, oh, there's a scary presence. I feel something. I trust Emily. We're going to bed. I don't know what that is. Oh, it's so cool though. Summer 8 was the day where I decided to try and befriend Caroline. I collected eggs from Woozy and Dizzy and then checked my storage for things. Caroline likes summer spangles, so I bought many flowers and wheat. I planted them and then stopped at Clint's where I got a fire opal and dropped them off at the museum. I fished at the ocean for the rest of the day, and on my way home, I accidentally triggered Shane's cutscene. I agreed with him on a lot of his points. I believe in you, Shane. I do wish you would get a better jacket, though. And stop wearing that's, I'm pretty sure, a jersey, because that's not helping you, dude. He may be one of my favorite character arcs, but sometimes I'm like, okay, dude. After the cutscene, I ended the day and woke up to Summer 9. Demetrius came to unlock the cave. I decided on the fruit bats, mostly because I hadn't decided on a place to put my fruit trees and had unlocked the preserve jar a couple days earlier, so this would be good extra money when the fruit started rolling in. I made one preserve jar with a special spot for it, placed a blueberry in it, and watered the crops. I then went to Willie's and decided to upgrade the fishing rod to fiberglass one to hopefully boost my earnings and use the plentiful bait stock I had probably acquired from fishing chests. I fished at the ocean with the new rod and caught the puffer fish after a while of knowing I got them and losing them. I don't care about the chest. I don't care about the chest. I don't. The chests have been screwing me over. I'm not getting one. Oh, my cheese. Oh my gosh, oh my gosh. Yes! I immediately dropped it off and spent the rest of the day chopping trees and planting new ones, ending day 9 by finishing off the construction bundle. Summer 10 was Maru's birthday, so I watered the crops and then went off to go find her. She wasn't at the clinic, but after checking the wiki, I found her at Robin's place and immediately got 3 hearts. See, Jazz, it's not so hard. I went to town and ran into Alex where he asked me if I believed he would ever become pro. I said maybe if he practiced a lot and then rummaged in a trash can. While waiting for Caroline to go to a specific spot, I went back up to Robin's and triggered Maru's 2-heart cutscene, which might be my least favorite cutscene. Maru, of course, left and Demetrius was weird, and that's mean. That next thought was mean. That's gonna be an inside thought. I reluctantly went with the best option. I finally got the chair I came there for, filled up my energy, and went to the mines, forgetting about Caroline again. I got the monster compendium and immediately used it. I only made it to level 65, but I passed out in the mines and got level 4 mining. Summer 11 was the luau, and luckily I did plan on it, kind of. I'm pretty sure I forgot about it until the day before, but whatever. I had something for it at least. I did some chores on the farm, like watering, checking on Dizzy and Woozy, and then went to the luau. I got there and talked to everyone and came across Sebastian, who said that Sam put, I think, anchovies in the soup one year. And then when I talked to Jody, she said she hopes the soup isn't like last year's or something, to which I just have one question. Is Jody thinking of the time Sam rigged the results of the soup in the downward direction? If so, I love this family even more. They're already peak, but I'm obsessed with any modicum of them interacting. Clint was like, what else is there to do but eat? To which I was like, you could dance with Emily. I didn't realize the wizard was here, but then he mentioned mermaids not liking when people litter, where I only had one response to that. Can they, nicest way possible, screw over Judge Mart? Okay. And I stand by that question. Can they, with like a puppy-eyed obsessive please? Everyone else was pretty in character, so I just popped in the Silver Star Summer Squash I brought and let the governor try it. He liked it, which I think is fine. I hope we get to meet his wife soon. That'd be cool if he did end up getting the vacation home nearby. The luau ended with its success, and I ended my day by having the realization that Haley was at 6 hearts. Summer 12 was harvesting the wheat. I went to Pierre's to replace the wheat with basic fertilizer and melons, and also got a star wallpaper. When I was checking trashes, I got a rhubarb pie, and Lewis was too close to the one by his house, but I got a trash get, so therefore irrelevant information. I said hi to Jazz, and my awkwardness around children acted up. Your bow also reminds me of a butterfly. I don't know how to talk to kids, okay? I went to Clint's to open frozen geodes and ended up getting the marble and dropped off both the marble and diamond at the museum, getting the night at the hills painting reward. Nothing was at the traveling cart, so I just planted the melons and fertilizer. Afterwards, with the chair from a previous day, I popped on into the secret woods for a fern and wood skip. I ended the day by dropping off the poppy, maple syrup from the tapper, and the fiddlehead fern for the chef's bundle, sunflower for the dye bundle, brown egg for the animal bundle, a peach from the cave to the artisan bundle, and the wood skip for the specialty fish bundle. At about 12 a.m., I had the usual 12-12 thoughts of, what's that dark shape in the corner? While adjusting the house a little bit, putting up the wallpaper, making a space for the paintings, I finally picked up the dark shape, and, well, I'm just gonna play the audio for you. What is this? What? I'm so dumb! Oh my cheese! I'm so dumb. Give me that freaking cart back. Yeah, anyways, found out what it was and had the appropriate reaction. This is my favorite farm, and I did not know that it came with a fish smoker. As usual with 12 a.m. thoughts, they stick with you into the next day though. Summer 13, I woke up, sold the now smoked carp, harvested my first batch of melons where I did not get a gold star one, and went fishing. I definitely was not still freaking out over the smoker. I have no idea what you're talking about. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I'm so dumb. I am so fucking dumb. That's a fluke. Yeah, that's a fluke. I fished since it was raining until I caught a red snapper and then stopped at Alex's to gift him a rhubarb pie for his birthday that I totally didn't get from a trash can. I went to Pierre's to again go broke for gold star melons. I dropped off the red snapper to complete the ocean fish bundle, getting 5 ocean warp totems. I next went up to the mountain lake for some fishing and got the sturgeon for the lake fishing bundle, getting the dressed spinner for the reward. I then went back to the farm to plant the melons. I went to the forest by Marnie's and chopped trees, acquiring the Woody's secret book. I spent the rest of the day sprucing up the farm by placing fences, a couple preserve jars, and a fishing trap. Summer 14, I did the chores, checked the traveling cart, and then stopped at the mines. I only got to 2 levels and passed out at 6:40. Summer 15, I woke up to the knowledge that it was Joja that had found me, which was like, ew. I comforted myself by talking to the chickens and collecting their eggs to sell. I stopped at the museum to drop off a jade. I then dropped off an aquamarine to the dye bundle. I went to the saloon to get salads to fill my energy. I sold topazes and frozen tears to Clint's and fished at a couple of spots at the mountain lake. I think I was trying to get a sturgeon for Willie's birthday, but it wasn't raining, so I wasn't able to get anything that I needed. I took the pass back to the farm and picked up grapes and spiceberries. At the farm, I smoked a rainbow trout and got jam, which was subsequently sold, and did some chores, ending the night by 12:40 with level 7 fishing and a 1568 made from miscellaneous things. Summer 16, I woke up to many things that needed harvesting. I watered the crops and left the farm to a dig spot where I got the Jack Be Nimble, Jack Be Quick book that gave me a permanent +1 defense. I had been gifting Caroline probably sweet peas and daffodils in spring, and finally noticed that it was at 2 hearts and walked in to magically teleport her from the lobby of her house to the greenhouse. I just need the recipe. I can! Oh my gosh! Okay. Hi, Caroline. How was teleporting? Was it fun? I left the mines knowing I had completed a goal for the season and reloaded level 5 to get enough soot sprites for what looks like a quest. I had to get 13 of them. When I got it, I used the beach warp totem to get close enough to meet the wizard before his place closed. Where is Sockman? I got enough of the crab pot bundle to complete and got the crab trap thingies, which sucks because I totally didn't spend all my iron to get them a while ago. Definitely not. I knew 13 was unlucky, but I didn't realize it could do residual curses. I also completed the summer crops bundle with the tomato and got a quality sprinkler for the reward. I then finally got to the wizard, but not before picking up the wood that was not picked up earlier. He gave me 780 G for completing the quest, and then I chopped trees by his house to assert how weird he is, and then placed the fishing trap, and slept, making 2,939 G. Summer 17, I woke woke up to the tea sapling recipe and Sam's birthday, so you know I'm going to get him a gift. That's for later though. I managed to make 15 tea saplings from the rewards of the summer foraging bundle. I watered the crops and restocked the baits and now had 3 preserves jars. I fished at a fishing spot on the farm and then went to the saloon for salad and pizza. Monday and Wednesday arrives at Jojamar. Oh, so he's at Jojamar on his birthday? I found Sam and Jody at Jojamart where I gifted him the pizza and took a quick salad break once I was done. I then went to go find Caroline and gifted her a sweet pea. She called me sweet. And then I went back to chopping trees. You know, I'm starting to think I do that to feel productive when I don't know what to do. I could be mining, but am I? No, I'm chopping trees and then going back to the farm for the 4th time today. I gifted Haley a smoked pike because I guess I thought it would work for the quest I picked up from the quest board. It did not. Oh, look at me, trying to chop down a tree. I gave Leah a salad on impulse and then found a funky little sign and then chopped trees again. But this time it had a purpose. I warped to the beach and repaired the bridge. I went home and sold more tea saplings, ending the day with level 6 foraging, 5,625 G made, and welcome to my life playing on my playlist. Summer 18, I woke up with almost 10,000 G and a dream on my mind. Probably. I did some chores on the farm and then went out to cut trees. I had a plan this time. I needed wood for the barn. While chopping a tree, I got the wearable dwarvish helm and it will henceforth be on my head until I get bored. Mostly because this was my reaction to it when I got it. I'm a little obsessed. I continued chopping trees and cleared almost the entire forest, leaving it with 559 wood. I spent the last couple of hours fishing and I made 2 more tree saplings before bed and slept with 2,864 G made. Summer 19, I woke up with a good luck day and Linus gifting me a Mackie roll, which was put in the town chest. This is the chest I'm supposed to be checking every time I go out the exit to the bus stop. I mostly forgot about it. I went to Robin's and upgraded the house, which does not count as a goal completed until Robin's finished. Just because I have the materials does not mean I can use it. I went to the mines and got down to level... I forgot about the skeleton levels! Oh my cheese! This means that I did not account for about 10 levels, meaning I thought it was 100 levels in the mines, but it's actually 120 because of course I forgot that there was another 10 levels. This has not hit past me, and after this day they get fixated on a new event, but it will hit me. I ended up getting to level 80 as a reward. I got the Firewalker boots and at some point I got the chef coat, but even looking back, I don't know when this happened. I went to bed and woke up to Summer 20. Robin started on the house and looked up the trout derby and found trout derby. It's a derby, not a tournament. I thought it was alliteration type thing. Bucket hat! So I found the new hyperfixation for the next couple of days. I did farm chores and then went on over to the forest river. When I came down, I talked to the NPCs and then asked the smart man in the booth for some information. My first reward was a camping tent, but then I saw him. Is that Willie? Hold up, is that Willie? It is Willie! Willie, my guy. And Elliot. Hi, Elliot. I talked to him and Elliot and then went up to the farm and cleared out my inventory and got bait and then continued fishing for the rest of the day. Summer 21, I learned the maki roll recipe from the Queen of Sauce. I did the chores and then foraged, eventually coming upon day 2 of the trout derby. I spent the rest of the day fishing again, making sure to clear out my inventory and sell stuff when needed. I ended up acquiring 3 warp totems and 3 omni geodes. While on the wiki the previous day, I had found out that the bucket hat appeared after the Omni Geodes, so I of course got it on my next golden tag. I went back home and made sure to finish up some things and then slept. I ended the day with 50,000 G made total and fear in my heart. Summer 22, I woke up to the house completed and 2 final goals left: to get the barn and to reach the bottom of the mines. I went up to the train and got copper ore, stone, and coal. I chopped down the last couple of trees and then asked Robin to begin construction on the barn. I cleared my inventory inventory and then reorganized my chest. I ended the day with a cool little animation that notified me of mystery boxes now being able to be found. Summer 23, Robin began on the barn. I got more salads from Gus and went to the mines. However, I only got to level 84 where I got mobbed by a bat, 2 golems, and a shadow being. I was found by Clint and decided to end the trip given it was 12:40 and warped home to sleep with 2 health. I got level 5 combat and chose the scout path. Summer 24, I woke up and cleared my inventory of what had survived and made 7 more tea saplings. These were sold and then I harvested the melons and got 7 gold star melons, meaning I had acquired all the melons I had needed for the quality crops bundle. These were moved to my town chest and then I went right back to the mines. I got to level 90 where I got the obsidian edge sword and went home. I ended the day with level 6 farming. Summer 25, the barn was done so I could get the cows. I harvested more melons. I dropped off the maki roll to the chef's bundle, a red mushroom for the dye bundle, and oak resin to the enchanter's bundle, completed the ore bundle, dropped off the fire quartz to the geologist bundle, the gold star melons to the quality crops bundle, jam and an apple from the cave to the artisan bundle. I stopped at Clint's to open geodes and then dropped off the malachite, tiger's eye, emerald, ruby, calcite, and jamborite. I got 2 rewards from the haul and then went to find George to give him a hot pepper for a quest he had sent in the mail. He complained about me taking too long when I had literally gotten the quest that day. I triggered Haley's cutscene at the beach, found her bracelet, and got a hug. I also triggered Sam's cutscene and told him to keep a child's innocence. I finally got what I had come there for through foraging. I noticed I had missed Willie's birthday and just about cried. I forgot Marnie's was closed. I went back up to the community center and realized I just sold the sea urchin. I just sold the sea urchin. Okay, I finished the boiler room with the earth crystal I got from a geode. I can't even get happy that I just finished the first room. I saw the Junimo put the star on the wall and then got giddy at them following you when you're finished. I'm still sad, but like this is giving me like an ounce of dopamine and it's making me giddy. I got more salads and then went to sleep dreaming of the Junimos fixing the minecarts. Summer 26, I went to the traveling cart and got a wine. I went to the mines afterwards and got to level 95 before getting decimated by a slime and saved by Clint again. Do I try again? I say we try again. It's fine. I didn't lose much, to be fair, so. I didn't get much further and just decided to call it a night at about 1:20 a.m. Summer 27, George gifted me 35 stones in the mail. I cleared my inventory, watered the crops, and then went back to the mines. I got taken out by a slime again and lost my sword. I spoke too soon. You know what? I am fixated on this. Let's go get the insect head. We'll try it again. I actually made it to level 100 and got the star drop. Yay! I got the star fruit. Oh, what is that? What is that? I don't know what that is. I did my favorite as forks. I don't remember that. You found a star drop. Your mind is filled with thoughts of forks. Okay, past me is dumb and definitely wrote that on impulse, but present me finds that fucking hilarious. This high carried me to level 105. I went home and passed out right next to the bed. I ended the day with level 6 combat and level 6 mining. Summer 28 was the Dance of the Moonlight Jellies, so we're on a time limit to get to level 120, so I woke up with an idea. Unfortunately, I had to make it a total of 15 levels to make my final goal. However, with me reaching level 6 mining, I'm now able to make bombs. I can become a bomb factory, blow up the levels, and make it to level 120 in record time. However, this is very risky given in all the games I play, I have a horrible perception of any status on my health levels, meaning this is very risky. I got a cow named Belle for a Disney princess theme. I got a duck feather from the traveling merchant and ran to Pierre's for more corn, and then then went to the mines with 2 bombs and 4 cherry bombs. I got to level 110 and acquired the space boots. Okay, look, I have some faith in my abilities, and unfortunately that little faith is carrying me a lot farther than I thought I would. I mean, it's always done that, but like, this one it's like, oh, that's excessive. This somehow carried me to level 115, but then the moonlight jellies happened and yeah, we're calling it a night. I'm scared. Let's go to the dance. Moonlight jelly. I don't want to miss it because I think I would actually cry if I missed it. So we gotta go. I talked to everyone and then ended summer year 1 with the dance of the moonlight jellies, 4 of the goals complete, and a 5th one that will be rolled over into the next season. Fall 1, I had money this time, so after clearing the field, I went to Pierre's and got more corn, pumpkins, and fertilizer. We're still working on the quality crops bundle, so getting the next 2 of the bundle would be nice. I then headed home to plant them. 4, 8, 12, 13. I realized afterwards I had more spots in the field and headed back to get more crops. I filled the rest of the spots with grapes, pumpkin, and an amaranth. After watering, I figured out what to do with the interior of the house and then went foraging around the valley. I ended the day by chopping trees and getting level 7 farming. Fall 2, I brought a furnace to the river and fished while cooking gold. When done, I foraged around the valley again. I came across Sam on the way back and he was worried about if his dad would be the same when he came back, to which I said, quote, probably not because that's not how people work, which, like, yeesh, that's a little harsh, dude. At the farm, I decided to make more preserves jars and came out with 5 of them. When running to the community center, I got the cutscene for the special order board. I said I look forward to helping with the quests. Bro, I don't even do community requests. I literally have that as a goal for this season. Don't get me started. That was great, Robin. After that, I dropped off the tiger trout to complete the river fresh bundle for 20 deluxe bait, the duck feather for the dye bundle, wine for the enchanter's bundle, an egg dish for the chef's bundle, an orange for the artisan bundle, and the mushroom, blackberry, and wild plum for the fall foraging bundle. I ended the day by picking up the sword and pickaxe to go mining for copper ore and was in bed by 1:30 with level 8 fishing and 2,712 G made. Fall 3, it was raining, so another fishing day. I remembered to restock the chicken and cow feed for the day and then wandered around looking for foraged materials. I stopped by the furnace and picked it up. I also checked out the special orders board and picked up the ectoplasm quest. I opened mystery boxes and geodes. I dropped off an opal, dwarvish helm, and basalt to the museum. This got the large bear as a reward. I next got the lemonstone, dolomite, dwarf gadget, and limestone. I sold the extras to Clint and went home to drop off extra stuff. I foraged around the beach and managed to pick up the sea cucumber and eel while fishing. I went to the town river and caught a walleye. I completed the night fishing bundle with the walleye and eel, getting another glow ring. I also completed the fall foraging bundle with a hazelnut for 30 fall seeds. I decided to spend the smallest cost for the vault and got chocolate cakes. I ended the day by learning the pancake recipe and making 6 lightning rods. Fall 4 was another rainy day, but this time it was a storm. I decided to get the second cow and named her Tiana after the frog princess. I think it's fitting based on the weather. This is the time frogs are more common and for the aesthetic. While at Marnie's, I also got hay in case there's more rain. I went to Robin's for a silo because I fear my spending habits on hay would get out of control if not. I finally found a wild plum for a Caroline quest and got 240 G from the woman with trees in her hair. This got me a ticket and I went to the mayor's to see what it does. This led straight into a cutscene where I lied to Lewis. Hi, Lewis. I'm straight up lying to him here. I just want the dopamine from new things. Thanks, Lewis. I did not need any of that information. This got me the broccoli seeds. I went to the beach thinking I could get the fish for a quest before realizing it was actually at the mountain lake that I needed. I got all 3 of the chubs and went to go find Willie, which got a small reward of 150 G. I went home and fished the rest of the night. Fall 5, the spirits were displeased again, and Robin began on the silo. I collected 5 batteries from the lightning rods and stored them. I don't remember what I need these for, but I know I need 5 of them. So while looking for squid ink, my mic fell on my hand. Ow! Why do I keep doing that? That hurt. Let's just say Elliot is a curse on this planet, and the only reason I will give him a gift is because I would also feel bad if I didn't. I went to the traveling cart and got a pale ale for Pam's request. She sent in the mail. I found Elliot at the docks and gave him a birthday present and got to 3 hearts with him, and then looked up if I should befriend him for the goal and quickly decided on a no. Pam was at Jojo Mart like a capitalist slave and drank the pale ale. I decided who cares about the spirits and went to the mines anyway. I was specifically looking for the ectoplasm because I had procrastinated the wizard's quest and now only had 2 days to complete it. Whoops. I kept on mining for several levels and decided to just reload level 55 to try and get the ghost spawn. I didn't end up getting it for the day and just went home. Fall 6, the silo was done, so I spent the morning getting as much hay as possible. I then watered the crops and went back to the mines for ectoplasm. I ended up getting the dwarf scroll 3. Fine, I'll go down a floor. Are you gonna give me the freaking ghost? No, you're not. Therefore, this was pointless. Wizard, I despise you. I should have done Gus's quest. I was like, oh yeah, it'll be fun. I can get the wizard up and we can make the wizard happy. No, I'm more annoyed by this quest than anything else. I think the wizard heard me. Right before I'm about to go home, he's like, oh, I guess. Oh, I hate him. I went to bed with 622 G made. Fall 7, the spirits were in good humor. At the traveling cart, I got a sandfish, cheese, and yam. I still need the bus, but like... I gave the ectoplasm to the sockman and got 2,500 G from the completion of the quest. I dropped off the winter root to the winter foraging bundle, the yam to the fall crops bundle, the cheese to the artisan bundle, hay to the fodder bundle, and completed the fish tank with the sandfish. This completed one of the goals for fall. However, I still want to unlock the vault. My procrastination would very quickly take over, so we have to bulldoze the barrier and complete it. I love that. Honestly, having that... Oh, I want to put more catfish in there. That'd be so freaking cute. After fangirling for a hot minute, I unlocked the 5,000 G bundle from the vault and then got excited again. Finally, we got to the mines and I got the required 5 levels for the skull key. Is this like Mr... I want to say Chi related? Mr. Chi related? Because there's like snakes. Am I stupid? Because doesn't he have the freaky snake room? I went to Marlin and could finally get my obsidian sword back from his recovery thing. I went back to the mines for earth crystals and only got 1. I slept to the Junimos fixing the minecarts, level 7 mining, and 2 goals for fall complete. Fall 8, the obsidian edge sword was back in my possession and I got the first harvest of the ancient seed. I chopped the trees on the farm and then managed to make a mayonnaise machine and cheese press. These were placed next to my preserve jars. I made 8 new tea saplings and went back to chopping trees for more. This left me with 13 total, and I managed to pass Haley, who smiled at me. I forgot about that! I chopped more trees and got fiber before looking for Linus's berry basket. I used the minecarts to get to Linus and triggered the cutscene for the panning thingy. Magic. Literally. I gave Linus his basket and went back to chopping trees and made more tea saplings for a final total of 18. This all got me level 7 foraging and 7,063 G made. Fall 9 was the slow day. I got the harvest of the amaranth, watered the crops, and placed more trees. I moved the tapper and misclicked before finally getting to Clint's, where I got an ancient drum and a deluxe speed grow fertilizer. I dropped off the ancient drum for a drum block and pumpkin seeds from the museum. I gave George a leek and went to give Caroline a summer spangle. I also gave Haley a sunflower and Leah another random salad because sometimes it'd be like that. I ended the day by more tree chopping. Fall 10, after chores, I gave Harvey a frozen tear for a quest and picked up a new one for Haley. I triggered Sam's 2-heart cutscene and said he should do experimental noise rock through the process of elimination. Synthesizer, that's what it is. I was like, I don't think that's, like that doesn't sound right. You should ask Abigail to join. Abigail. She's the type of person to rage. I gave Jody a chocolate cake and Sam a pizza. I went back home to pick up the amethyst and delivered it to Haley. I gave Leah another salad and then went back to the secret woods for berries and hardwood. That was horrifying. What was that? That was so unnerving. My skin just started crawling. I know that was likely a Bigfoot reference, but I hated that. I went back to the farm and made a worm bin and immediately upgraded it to the deluxe worm bin. I learned the bread recipe before bed and then slept with 3,459 made. Fall 11 was a harvest of aubergines and grapes. I replanted fertilizer and pumpkins. I went into town and began giving more gifts, starting with a sunflower for Haley. While looking for Jody, I triggered another of Sam's cutscenes and lied for him about something that's not significant, but probably means a lot to the family. After this, I gave Jody another chocolate cake for her birthday and managed to get 4 hearts. On my way out, I ran into Lewis. Why does this tie flop like that? I hope that's his tie. I gave George another leek, Caroline another summer spangle, and then went back to the mines for more copper. We are getting copper to make more furnaces because that's what I decided to do with the other room. Thanks for explaining that. I don't have notes for it. I ended up staying out too late and passing out next to the ancient fruit. Fall 12 was a rainy day and I got billed 1000 G from Harvey and unlocked the fried calamari recipe from Jody. After chores, I went to the traveling cart and found nothing of use. I stopped by Marnie's for a milk pail and milked Belle and Tiana. I stopped by Clint to complete a quest for iron ore to inspect quality. I dropped off an aubergine to the pantry and a spur to the museum. I then used 2 tickets for an orange sapling and flower seeds before zigging and zagging back to the farm for more bundle stuff. Remember when I said I forgot to check the town test? Yeah, I was being serious. I dropped off the purple mushroom to both the exotic foraging bundle and the field researchers bundle, and I ended the day by stocking furnaces and fishing. Fall 13 was another rainy day and Abigail's birthday. What is Abigail like? It's amethyst, right? She eats it, doesn't she? She likes puffer fish. Oh my god, she's so fucking weird. Of course she likes that. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna judge her for that because, like, valid. But, like, everything else I'm gonna judge her for. I found her in her kitchen and gave her the amethyst. I then went to the river by Leah's and caught catfish. See, it was coming back. I restocked the furnaces and took the catfish to the community center. That sunfish is ruining my vibe. Goodbye. Look at him. Oh, I should put him more. Look at it. This is now my pride and joy. I was in bed by 10:50 and made 3,178 with Pink Pony Club on my playlist. Fall 14 was a big harvest day and, well, I got all 5 of the gold star pumpkins. For some reason, I thought it would be harder, but with the fertilizer, it was actually fairly easy. I replaced the spots with other types of seeds and collected fruit from the back cave. At the traveling cart, I got honey and caviar, and I went to the community center and dropped off the pine tar to complete the exotic foraging bundle, gold star pumpkins to the quality crops bundle, and completed the fall crops bundle for a beehive. I spent the rest of the day fishing at various spots to complete a quest for 3 smallmouth bass and getting level 9 fishing with over 12,600 made. Fall 15 opened with Jody coming to give me a quest for a largemouth bass. I stopped at Clint's and upgraded the axe to steel and then skillfully rummaged trash cans in town. I went up to the mountain lake to fish and on the same cast caught the bass as well as a dinosaur egg. Oh my god! Now I know what we need to do. We need to upgrade the chicken coop. Thanks a lot, game! This was immediately done, and I went to town to continue fishing. I caught the smallmouth bass and completed Willie's quest by going to talk to him on the beach, and then stopped by Jody's where I put the fish on the floor and she cooked it into a casserole. I'm not judging because I've been told I have a poor taste in food standards, but the floor has cracks in it. I ended the night by foraging around the valley. Fall 16 was the fall fair, so I spent most of the morning gathering up what I wanted to use and searching for information. I decided on a small collection of various things that at least had a star or was a rarity. Let's go to the fair. Oh, I decided on a pretty simple display and then ran around talking to people as per usual, tried out the carnival games, and maxed out the strength test. The tours were probably my favorite part though. Yeah, I know, you should go tell Marnie to her face so she gains some self-confidence and ditches Lewis. I went to go talk to the fortune teller and she gave me a pretty good fortune. I will say she's ridiculously sweet and I kind of want to marry her. I finally found the rest of the residents up top and accidentally clicked on the slingshot booth and tried it out a couple of times. I then got into gambling and I gambled not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 5 times before losing all my coins to the game and utilizing the fishing game to gamble again and again and again and again. I went to the prize booth and got the rare crow and star drop before gambling again. I got more of the prizes and decided to gamble for all of them. I am getting way too much dopamine from today. It is like overloading my brain. Thanks, Lewis. I ended the day with all the rewards and the winning Grange display. Fall 17, I rearranged the house to accommodate the new gifts and checked the spirit. Your happiness is a flex I will retain. No, it's not. It is not. Mark your days, because this is the day Wendy loves me. I have acquired the affection of a being capable of massive amounts of love. I've ascended to a plane where I will cry if I am dropped onto the plummet precipice by Prometheus and forced to have my liver pecked out of me, so punishment shall be. I have invoked Zeus. We're all doomed. Wendy! That's so sweet. I picked up my steel axe from Clint's and got mystery boxes from the ticket machine at the mayor's. These were open to receive bombs, warp totems, and quality fertilizer. I spent the rest of the day at the mines and ended the day with a visit from a fairy. Fall 18, the chicken coop was completed and it was another harvest of the ancient fruit. I tried to find Marnie and she was not at the place she normally is, and while looking for her, I stole pumpkins and got gifts from Gus at the saloon. Before leaving, I bought the pizza recipe. I finally found Marnie at Harvey's. Marnie, I am sorry. I'm gonna make a HIPAA violation. Here you go. Next, I gave Caroline and Jody spaghetti that I just bought and found Sam at the forest to give him some pizza for pizza time. I chopped trees until nightfall and gave George spaghetti. I went to the mines for a quest from Clint and fell asleep as 2 a.m. was about to hit. I made a total of 5,046 G. Fall 19 opened with a visit from Marnie asking about a cave carrot. I stopped by her shop and got 2 ducks that were named Sleazy and Sparky. There was nothing at the traveling cart, so I went to the farm and cleared it up. I foraged around the beach and managed to get the sea urchin that I accidentally sold last season to the dye bundle, and completed the quality crops bundle with some gold star corn for a preserves jar. I went to the saloon to give some gifts and set up a small area at the farm to end the day. Fall 20, I got a pomegranate from the Batcave. After the chores, I decided it would be a gifting day, so in between everything, I gave gifts to Jody, Caroline, Evelyn, and Willie. I found Elliot at the library. I tried to find Leah and accidentally triggered Elliot's cutscene at the saloon. I'm so glad I've always found Elliot weird. He likes pomegranate. Yeah, I'm gonna do friendship because it's like the most platonic way to say we're staying friends. Is he just drinking all day? I'm more so disturbed than I thought I would. I gave Leah a salad and Georgia jam. I dropped off the pomegranate to the Enchanter's bundle, decided to get the 10,000 G bundle from the vault, and got a lightning rod. Cleared the log at the entrance to the secret woods and was asleep after spending 3 IRL minutes stressing over the fedora. I don't think I can make it work. After that stressful day, fall 21 began with fixing the fences. Once again, nothing was at the traveling cart. I finally picked up Lewis's shorts. I added a memoriam to the chair by the secret woods and went to give more gifts. Where is Caroline? She was by the tree. Of course she was. And while looking for plums, I passed by one. I found another at a separate spot and delivered it. Yay! I got the gopher achievement. Aha! Beat that! Another goal met. I ended up getting the Star Drop Tea from the ticket, and as a reward, I attempted to beat the mini games of Prairie King and Junimo Kart for the next 21 minutes. I didn't get past the first stage in either. I did some final planning stuff at the farm and finally completed the day at around 1 a.m. with 3 goals down and 2 to go. Fall 22, I did chores and made an omelet. I went to the secret woods for harvestables and went mining for probably copper. I stopped at the Adventurers Guild for nothing and was in bed by 1:50. Fall 23, I did chores, fixed fences, foraged, chopped trees, and ended the day with some fishing. Fall 24, the ducks were fully grown up and look at their faces. I also got the first duck eggs. I finally decided to pick up the tappers because I had an idea for something that doesn't come to fruition for this season. I next acquired gifts and questing materials to go around and give gifts. However, I approached Caroline and... What is my click? Wait, is click only 4? I thought it was 5. I genuinely thought it was 4. Okay, or 5. I'm so dumb. I thought it was like 5 heart with 5 people, you know? Yeah, so my clique is a skater guy, his mom, another mom, and a fashion girly. Yeah, okay, I'm a little confused on how that happened, but oh well. I dropped off the duck egg this morning and gave George another leek for his birthday, which got him to the same friendship as Haley. I am confusion. How did I manage to have my closest friends be a girl I'd be intimidated by in real life and an old man I'd avoid like the plague? So I say again, confusion has inhabited my soul and we have become one. I have weird priorities. Okay. That's fine. I dropped off a fossil to the museum and fished the rest of the day in random spots, ending the day with 1 goal left and 4 days to do it. Fall 25 was spent organizing chests, delivering quests, and fishing until late. Fall 26, I woke up to almost 26,000 G and some thoughts. I went to the town and opened a treasure trove for Chip Amphora. I dropped it and the ancient doll to the museum. I ended up getting a rare crow and running through the books to get all of them read. I went to the traveling cart and found nothing. I decided to get the final vault area to complete it and got the crystallarium. This marks the 3rd room completed and 3 left. We're halfway through! I ended the day with some fish and the Junimos fixing the bus. Fall 27 began with me extensively Googling fishing tips. At the time, I had no idea when I had gotten level 9 or how far I was into the level, how close I was, or anything relating to the fishing level, but I did have a rough idea on how fishing works and what to do to get a higher level in the fastest way possible. I have an idea. However, I am very scared to use it. So, okay, look, this is the process. You learn things and you get scared and you decide if you really want to do that. After chores, filtering out stuff to sell, and building up courage, I warped to the beach and began fishing. When I used the last of my bait, I went to go ask Willie for more, but apparently he's closed and just went back to fishing. I tried Googling again and that's such a big jump for level. Okay. You know what? No, we're ignoring logic, okay? I fished until the Spirit's Eve began. I ended up getting the recipe and the rare crow at Pierre's funky shop. While being unnaturally aggressive with talking to people, I opened my inventory and, did I get it? A day before the ending? Have I completed all the goals? Are we about to complete everything a day before the ending? Have I ascended the ladder of goals? Am I winning? I speed ran talking to everyone, ran into the idol that is Baba Yaga's hut. It's Baba Yaga's hut. That's so fucking cool. Okay, sorry, I'm done. That's so fucking cool. And got the golden pumpkin. I exited the maze weird and I don't know what I did. Please let me know. I'm scared. I couldn't open my inventory. I quickly left Spirit's Eve, sold all the inventory from the day, placed the Rurko, and went to bed with no level 10 fishing. Fall 28, I started the day by organizing the fall chest. I decided to do quantity over quality with fishing. While yes, technically higher quality fish will gain you more experience, it's a little inconsistent consistent with me getting higher quality, so I thought if I got many fish it would work. I decided on the mountain lake and fished on my heart's content. I spent a while Googling and ran out of bait, so after a quick stop to Willie's, I went back to the mountain lake. Now, don't quote me on this, but I think I was specifically looking to catch the chub fish. They're pretty frequent catches and fairly easy to do, so that's what I was looking for. I ended up catching another ancient seed to round out the seeds, and at about 5 p.m. I got the little pop-up. Are you serious? The absolute last day! Oh my gosh, I have Hermione's last name. Okay, I knew getting back into reading Harry Potter fanfiction was a good idea. I went home blessed with the soul of Hermione and finished up some things on the farm to complete. I ended fall year 1 with all the goals complete, 3 of the rooms in the community center complete, and some more areas to explore. I chose the I did not mean to click that option and finished off fall year 1 with 5,790 made. Winter 1 was spent mostly acquainting myself with the farm again. I ended up encountering Krobus and acquiring the magnifying glass. This means we can now find secret notes. I actually learned that Winter 1 is Krobus's birthday, so is this a birthday present to himself? Like, going outside the sewers and everything? There might have to be a goal to befriend him. I feel bad. I opened Geo's and dropped off several items to the museum. I found the first secret note at some point and foraged around. I ended up managing to find the remaining bits for the crafts room, meaning there are only 2 rooms left. I passed out in the community center and unlocked the quarry. Winter 2, I was picked up by Joja and got the quest for squid from Willie. The baby dinosaur hatched and I named him Oscar because we're doing Oscar. Trash dinosaur! He's gonna be Oscar. I picked up a quest for Snow Yam for Clint and delivered it. I began clearing out the quarry and organizing the area. I made 2 new furnaces and found a total of 2 secret notes. I ended the day with level 8 foraging. Winter 3 began with replacing the furnaces. The train decided to give me stone, and while up there it was Linus's birthday, so he got a birthday yam. I decided to make more tea saplings so I could get the steel pick started at the blacksmith. This allowed me to drop off the skeleton hand, and I decided to organize the collection by color at the museum. I decided to go to the Calico Desert for the first time and forage. When I went into Oasis, I ran into Sandy's cutscene. Oh, hello. I guess. I don't know what I'm doing here. I decided to get a new shirt for the store and got another from a dig spot. I went back to the museum to drop off something else new. I ended the day with some difficult fishing. Winter 4, I did some light fishing at a fishing spot. I went into town and got the bed from the ticket machine. I delivered a gold bar to Penny. At the beach, I foraged and sold them to Willie. I decided to fish at the beach and spent most of the rest of the day there. I swapped out the beds and chopped trees and ended the day with 4,073 made. Winter 5, I idled most of the morning and chopped more trees outside Robin's before having enough to upgrade the barn for materials. I got parts of Abigail's diary from a secret note. I picked up the steel pick and opened geodes while there. I next went to the traveling cart, finding nothing of use, of course. I dropped off a Nautilus shell to Demetrius's bundle. This got a recycling machine. I spent the rest of the day mining and got another secret note. Wait, hold up. You'd eat fish bait? I know that's like an expression, but that just made my mouth actually taste it, and I just got really grossed out. So, Linus, I'm glad you know how to talk to people, but that was gross. So, I was in bed by 1:30 a.m. with level 8 mining. Winter 6, Clint gave me the quest for the amethyst to Emily thing. I had a clear idea for the quarries, so I went to go and fix things for it. I went to Clint's and began the upgrade to copper for the hoe. I chopped trees for the quarry at the forest and secret woods for the rest of the day. I ended it with level 9 farming. Winter 7, I was visited by Pierre. After that, I restocked the preserve jars, made more mayonnaise machines, and got a squid from the traveling cart. I went back to the quarry and continued fixing it up. I ended up finishing the tree area and went back to the mines for ore. And right before bed, realized I forgot about Caroline's birthday. Okay, I don't want to talk about it. That is depressing. Ugh. Oh well, I guess it's fine. Winter 8 was the ice festival. I went around talking to people. I said Penny and Jazz should make the classic snowman, purely because Jazz said she wanted to use the carrot nose. I got the rare crow from the traveling cart. I couldn't find Linus, so I had to look it up and finally found him by the wizard's tower. I didn't know that. Because I can't talk to the wizard, even though I know he's being a creepy stalker sock man. Gosh. He would be the kind of guy to go through your sock drawer, though. Ugh. And according to the game, I haven't met Sandy, so I think I forgot to talk to her after the cutscene. Oops. I started the fishing competition and won with 6 fish caught. I got this sailor hat and some lures. How can you not believe that? You're a level 10 fisher. Maybe I'm surprised that I beat Willy? According to my notes, sailor hat plus chef coat equals Sanji, but Sanji does not equal One Piece, but I am master. I am Sanji. So that's a lie. I ended the day with more fishing. Winter 9, the copper hoe was ready. I cleared more of the trees on the farm and picked up the hoe. While at Clint's, I upgraded the gardening can. I cleared the quarry and planted more trees and checked out the Squid Fest sign. I caught the squid for Willy and found him at the saloon to give it to him. I used the seed maker reward to make more ancient fruit seeds. I ended the day with more fishing and made 5,834. Winter 10, I fished outside Marnie's until she opened. And when she did, I got a goat named Thumbelina and a heater for the barn. I decided to move the coop up by the barn, I think to have easier access to it. Sebastian's room was locked for his birthday, so I wandered around and came across Linus, who now considers me a friend, apparently. I went to the mines for stone, and when Sebastian left his room, he got a birthday present. I went back to the farm to clear it up and move the sprinklers. There was a fishing spot, so that's how I ended the day. Winter 11 began with more tea saplings, chores, and making recipes. I ended up getting a total of 5 recipes done, and I picked up the watering can and bought rice and flour. This is where I found out you had to date the bachelorette/bachelors to get them to 10 hearts. So what I'm hearing is we should date Haley. I'm not opposed to it. Honestly. I went back to the mines for both the quest and for iron after clearing my inventory. I stayed there for most of the day and was in bed by 1:20 a.m. Winter 12 was the first Squid Fest. The Oracle every time I check calls me out, so I'm going to safely assume I procrastinate that too. I ended up getting wool from the traveling cart, even though I spent so much money getting the barn upgraded for Thumbelina. Thanks. This game. I don't actually, but I was able to complete the pantry with the wool, so one area left of the community center. I triggered Abigail's 2-heart cutscene and failed at Prairie King. Why would you raise your hand at that? Dude, we're shit at this game. I didn't do too horrific, but still managed to run face first into several of the enemies. I'm assuming that's why this is a hidden achievement. I managed to get George's cutscene and reassured him. I stopped at Clint's and got only the fluorite. After this, I finally went to the festival where I tried and failed to impress Willy. Before he left, I got distracted by one of the fishers and then wandered off and found out I would get all the reward. I didn't know that. I only skimmed the rules, okay? I ended the day with the greenhouse complete and a new plan for the goal. Winter 13, I found a place for the squid kid painting in the kitchen. I replaced hay and accidentally made Woozy a mom, so baby chicken a couple of days. It was gonna be 2 chickens, 2 ducks, 2 Oscars, which I was gonna name the other one Elmo, by the way, because I think it's funny. I decided to set up the greenhouse by placing the orange trees and placing the 6 ancient seeds. This marks the first goal completed. I made the glazed yams for the 7th recipe made. I went to Pierre's and bought a bouquet, and then Haley, I know this is very unceremonious, but unfortunately I can't bring you out on a date. I'm getting nervous. Okay, you know what? Who cares? I would totally date Haley. Okay, here you go. I gave her the bouquet and sat facing the wall while I contemplated commitment. I went back to fishing for 10 squids and money. It took all the way until 1:50 a.m., but I caught all of them. Sure. And I don't need anything else. Okay, I win. I am prepared to accept my fate. I have a squid hat. I win. I win. All y'all lose. I have a squid hat. I passed out on the beach with a girlfriend, and the best thing of all was a squid hat. Winter 14 awoke with sorting through and organizing the rewards. I ended up getting the notice for the night market, and when I finally left the farm, I went to the traveling cart and bought the wallflower pal and 5 oak resin bottles. I went around giving gifts to Jazz, Haley, Penny. I got the hash brown recipe and gave Evelyn and Abigail gifts. Abigail asked me about her drawing, and I said the orc. Apparently, Caroline doesn't like mayonnaise, or maybe it's just duck mayo. He actually liked the gift I gave him, which was not the goal. George and Jody also got gifts. Sebastian didn't like his gift, and Demetrius called my cheese a specimen. See, this is why I have beef with everyone in this family except Mara and Rob. My cheese is not alive. It is not a specimen. It does not have containing organisms. I take offense, okay? Robin and Alex also got gifts, and they liked them. I chopped trees to clear the quarry some more, and I used the resources to begin sprucing up the mine entrance, and unfortunately had enough to make bombs. Oh, I can! That worked! Okay, sorry. I was quite literally winging it. I didn't realize that would work. I was not expecting that to work. I was expecting it to just be like, oh, it's not gonna work, you know? And now we have to go check it out. I don't have all the dwarf skulls, so we can't talk to the guy yet, but after fixing the area, I just went home. Winter 15, I replaced the jam jars and also got the first goat milk from Thumbelina. Okay, I'm gonna be honest, we're gonna be doing something stupid, so... I gathered up materials like food, took a triple espresso shot, got the sword, and then traveled to the desert. I can't talk myself out of this, so we're probably gonna die. In which case, I'm stupid, and we should have just gone to the night market. Yeah, first level, we got to 4 health, and then I just spent most of the day trying to figure out the serpents. Are they just, like, bats? Are they magic? Is the sock man involved? What about the gambling man, or bouncer, or even Mr. Key? Is Grandpa involved with this note? I hate mining. This is why I fish, okay? This is why I have a squid hat. Because I am the squid. I am the failure of the squid, okay? That's how it works. Okay, Grandpa apparently wants me to die. I found a shaft that dropped me 9 levels to level 13, where I got down to 5 health and called it good. I did manage to get the first iridium ore, and I spent all my money replacing the salads and then went to check out the night market, so... bad idea. I didn't have the secret note for the mermaid, so I got a coffee and then realized I was too broke for deep sea fishing and went to fish by myself off the pier for the rest of the day. I made 1768 and prepared for another day. Winter 16 began with taking care of the animals and checking on the recipes, where I made the miner's tree. I went to the blacksmiths to open geodes, and I didn't get anything new, but I decided to go around giving gifts to whoever I ran across. I talked to Haley. I have a chicken coming in a few days, I think. More gifts were handed out, and I triggered Abigail's argument with Caroline cutscene and got fixated on her red eyes. The farmer character hid in a corner, which apparently worked, I guess. I bought more cooking ingredients from Pierre and went home to store them. This allowed me to get the cook achievement, meaning there are 2 goals down and 3 left. George and Evelyn both got gifts. I picked up baits from the farm and went to the night market. Okay, who has squeaky shoes and needs to fix their shoes? I got a coffee and then saw the truffle at the traveling cart, but was too broke. I went to the submarine, turned off the volume to not trigger my deep-seated paranoia about the ocean, and went about deep-sea fishing. I spent the rest of my night fishing and caught my once favorite blobfish that now makes me sad to think about their appearance and its causes. I'm fine. I was in bed by 1:30 with 5,585 G made. Winter 17, Evelyn stopped by and gave me garden pots and the recipe. I decided to go to Skull Cavern today, but did not check the log. I only got a couple of levels and woke up at Harvey's. This is now everyone's problems. I take no responsibility for my fate. Winter 17, I woke up to Evelyn stopping by the house and gifting a garden pot. I felt a lot wiser today for some reason, so I went to the Wizard's Tower and delivered a Void Essence for 1,000 G. I went around giving gifts, read all the books in the library to catch up, and got 3 coffees from the mystery box. I took care of the animals at the farm and fished outside the beach until the night market opened. I bought an apple sapling for 1,000 cheaper and fished in the submarine after making myself dizzy. I kept getting random fishing spots. It almost felt like days were merging together. Huh. Oh well, no point on dwelling on things that didn't happen. I took the teleport to get home and ended the night at 1:50 to a, quote, strong windstorm during the night. I made a total of 9,257 G. Winter 18, I found out my secret friend was Abigail and that I had 7 days to prepare. After taking care of the animals, I placed the apple tree by the orange tree and placed the seasonal plants. I went to the blacksmith's and upgraded the steel hoe. I chopped trees at the train stop, and when the energy got low, I stopped at the spa. Ew, it takes off my hat. I can't be a squid in the spa. Bro, I like that hat. I'm emotionally attached to the dude. On the way out, I ran into Linus and gave him a coffee because he was cold. I foraged around and chopped trees on the way to the farm and then took the minecarts to the quarry and placed more trees in the little forest. I used the wood to make more kegs and placed them by the others. I made tea saplings and ended the day. Winter 19, I got a visit from Emily about cloth and had access to her sewing machine. I ended up perusing the wiki for ideas and found a shirt I wanted to make for the first one. I want a fish shirt. Yeah, I want a fish shirt. Can I make a fish shirt? I gathered up materials for it and took care of the animals. Woozy's child hatch and I named them Mavis. Wendy was the first one I told about the chick, as she should be. I went to the traveling cart and found nothing. I finally went to Emily's and made the shirt with the dye. Haley asked for a pony, so future goal is all I'm hearing. Okay, how about this? We can't marry her until we get a pony. That's like a new rule I'm making up on the spot. But we're doing it. I foraged around the beach and sold the wares to Willie before fishing outside. I stayed there until the end of the day. Winter 20, it was snowy, and I went to the blacksmith and picked up the steel hoe. I went to the forest for a lingcod frenzy and fished for money while being weirdly introspective. I chopped trees at the end of the frenzy and checked out the hat mouse. I accidentally bought my least favorite option of the tropiclip. To cope, I went back to chopping trees. After clearing the forest, I fought in the secret woods and went home. Winter 21, Robin asked for hardwood. I took care of the animals and placed an ancient fruit seed. There was another apple tree in the traveling cart, so I bought it for 1,000 G cheaper again. I dropped off things to the museum and got the bear statue and raccoon rarecaro for a reward. I went through reading the books again and came across The Fisherman Act 2. Skim, skim, skim. Ah, yes. Tex. Do you think anyone will ever catch him? Gordy. If this person were a master at fishing. Whatever. Oh, there we go. Above all, you've got to have respect for the water, son. Tex. Son? Do you mean your father? Gordy. Yes, my boy. And then he dies to an undiagnosed medical problem that could have been prevented if healthcare wasn't so expensive as dramatic music plays and the curtains fall. Oh, that snort hurt. I went to go see George and gift him a leek to celebrate the wheeze. I triggered Emily's cutscene, Haley got a thing of cheese, and I pretended to not be judging Emily as I left. I put the bear statue in the mines and cleared the quarry more while also having a minor break in plans. I placed the rarecrow to end the night. Winter 22, the spirits were in good humor and Mavis grew up. I placed a new apple tree in the greenhouse and replaced the furnaces. I went to Clint's to pick up the steel watering can and dropped off a rusty spoon to the museum. I gave Haley and George a gift and ran into Lewis and gifted him a strange doll for the lulz. I went back to fishing again for the rest of the light before heading to the quarry and dropping off more tappers and ending the day with 2,751 made. Winter 23 began with restocking the barrels and jars, organizing chests, and checking on the animals. I decided to open geodes where I got a mystery shirt that is not a vibe and mixed seeds. Does that mean he literally folded a shirt, like a box, and gave it to me as a shirt? Oh, Sam, hi. Gifts were handed out to Sam, Penny, Elliot, and I got Sam's cutscene. I googled the cutscene and chose to stay out of this. More gifts were handed out to the girlies and salad to Leah. I went to her house and checked it out. I can promise you I'm not a stalker. I spent the rest of the day chopping trees and foraging. Winter 24, Wendy gave me clay. I hope. After that, I spent the morning foraging and digging up dig spots on my way to the mines for copper and stone. I spent the rest of the day there and ended it on the lobby of the mines. Winter 25 was the Feast of the Winter Star. I made more furnaces and found out it was Linus that found me. I spent the morning tending the animals before finally getting to the event with Abigail's gift. Willie told the tale of the Winter Star, and Harvey said there was no medical emergencies this year. Oh, that's right. There were no medical emergencies because I gaslit you. I got the tree of the Winter Star and the large red rug at the store. Abigail got a gold star pumpkin, and Caroline gifted me a pink cake. Yay! What'd you give me? Oh my god, you got me cake? I found out that I had still not talked to Sandy and ended the festival. I ended the whole day by rearranging the house and was in bed by 12:20 a.m. with 3 days left of the season. Winter 26, Gus gave me the quest for an albacore. I began organizing the chests and warped to the beach to fish in an open window for the quest. I didn't end up catching it, so I foraged around the beach and checked out Elliot's house. I sold the forageables to Willie and triggered Penny's cutscene. No, that was mean. I'm sorry. I understand where Penny's coming from. That cutscene makes me so uncomfortable. I dropped off Granite and the scapula to the museum and went to the quarry. I spent more time at the ocean catching the albacore. When I entered town, I got Abigail's cutscene and warned her about self-defense. I love graveyards. I left with her after Pierre's rant, and Gus got the albacore before I ended the day. Winter 27 opened with a greeting from Leo, where she gifted me her glorious statue. It got a special place behind the Bob the Builder sign. After chores, I went to talk to Haley and left feeling dejected that she wasn't at 10 Hearts. I checked out the calendar and found out that I had missed Clint's birthday, which, though unintentional, made me happy. I went to Calico Desert and finally talked to Sandy. Yeah, I forgot again, but now we're formally acquainted. I left after getting all the forageables. I dropped off the thing to the museum and had an early day of 2:10 p.m. Winter 28 was the last day of the season and consisted of completing the final goal of 10 Hearts. I went to the traveling cart and found nothing. Okay, I lie. I can't hate her. I hate her stock. It is not very imperative with its ingredients. I next stared at the wall for 10 minutes and got to give Haley the last gift of the season, where I got the final goal completed. George also got a gift to round it out. I ended the season for an early night of making more spring seeds. I'm counting all the goals completed, and yes, I am counting the Skull Cavern. The goal was just to get acquainted with the area, not reach any specific level. And with that, Stardew Valley the first year is complete. I feel overall confident with it, more so disappointed that I forgot to check the year 1 box, but oh well. As per usual, let me know if you have any tips. Any knowledge is helpful, and feel free to follow my bluesky for updates or my slightly loopy 3am thoughts. Spring year 2 should be coming out soon, and I have a couple ideas in store for other games in the coming months. So feel free to subscribe if you would like to get updates on those. Bye-bye.